All right, here we go. Thank you very much. This is Seewing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network. Thank you for attending our monthly mastermind Zoom meeting. It will be another video testimonial by one of our network investors. We had one last month and it went very well. That was given by Gene. And tonight, James will go over his experience of going through the journey of real estate investing through our network. And so this will be a 30-minute presentation by James, and I really appreciate James to take time and effort to put together his PowerPoint presentation, as well as giving his precious time to share everyone about his journey to achieve his goals with real estate investing. So in terms of the logistics, again, this, after the 30-minute presentation, we can have like 10 minutes, maybe longer, depending on how many people ask questions. You have a chat box in front of you. The way you can ask questions, you can use the chat box, or you can use your video chat, live audio video chat if you wish. If you are not shy, we certainly welcome your input after the presentation. So without further ado, again, James we can talk about his journey, and he's been with part of our network for a number of years now. I forgot how many, but he's a very, like I said, he's a very focused investor. He invests for the long term, and he can go share with you his experience. So James, are you ready? Thank you so much. You take it away, James.
All right, thank you for the introduction, Mr. Yee. Let's get started here. As you mentioned, I've been a Yee Real Estate Network member for a number of years. I think maybe 8 or 9 years at this point. By trade, my day job, I'm a technical marketing engineer. And so I've always liked investing, and I just kind of started out you know, very small, very simply, not really knowing much, but just kind of went for it. And I've learned a whole lot since I've started my journey, and that's what I'd like to share with you tonight. So here's what I'd like to cover with you. First of all, I'd like to talk a little bit more about my real estate investing background, and then some of the investments that I've done with the Yee Real Estate Network. I've done a couple of VA foreclosure purchases, so I'd like to talk over my experiences with that. Also, I've done some investments with Glenn Plantone and VIP Realty. Both of them have been great experiences. Both have been very different, and I've just learned a whole ton from doing that. Then I'd like to share some final thoughts, and at the end, as Mr. Yee mentioned, we'll have some Q&A. So here's how I started. My first rental was a home that I originally purchased, and I ended up saving enough to buy a second home. And so what I ended up doing was renting out my first home. And these were folks that were kind of within my friends network. You know, I would call them acquaintances. They needed a place to stay, and I thought, well, hey, you know, I'll rent it out, I'll make some money, get some cash flow. But what I didn't realize at the time was that, you know, there's some research and some due diligence that needs to happen to really get that cash flow. So essentially, my first rental, my cash flow was $0. I didn't really understand why I wasn't making any money at it. How come all my money was basically, all the cash I was making was essentially going into the property, and I had nothing left. Some months I was negative. And so, you know, I was just not really understanding. So I ended up, my curiosity kind of led me to a financial seminar that I signed up at a local high school that Mr. Yee taught. And that's where I kind of learned some of the very basics about investing in general, real estate investing, and credit and kind of all of that. So after learning those basics, it took some time, but I now own 5 long-term hold rental properties, all of them which cash flow positive. And I'm getting closer to reaching my financial goals, which I'll share with you at the end. So with his real estate network, Mr. Yee's real estate network, I've done 7 deals. I've done 2 VA foreclosure purchases. Those are long-term buy and holds. And then I've done 5 flips, 3 which are in progress with Glenn's company, VIP Realty Group. So those are what I'd like to share with you this evening. Okay, so let's go through the VA foreclosure purchase prerequisites. First thing is you must have prior rental history and experience. This is paramount. You need to have some background, have, what's it like to own a rental property? What's it like to do property management on your own, which I did with the first property that I owned, and kind of go through the hard knocks and kind of learn from experience. The other key thing, not only having prior rental history, is you need to work very closely with Mr. Yee. He was fantastic. He had an initial consultation with me on the phone. I wasn't really sure what I was getting into, but that consultation meeting really helped me understand what those steps are and what needed to happen in order to go through the process and acquire one of these properties. So that was so key and so important. And as I went through the process, he walked through every step with me, and he was there the entire time to guide me as I went through it. One of the things you need to understand with is that it's not quite turnkey. But Mr. Yee and the Yee Network and folks that he partners with, companies that he partners with, and other people that he partners with, makes it way less painful.
Jim, can you hold on? Someone.
Yes. Yeah, I hear some background noise. I'm not sure if it's from me or not.
Yeah, Pushpan, maybe it was you. Can you unmute yourself? I'm so sorry. Pushpan, can you unmute yourself so there'll be no background noise? Right? Can you hear me?
Okay, I don't hear any more background noise.
Okay, we're good. So continue, sorry.
No worries. Okay, so again, it's not quite turnkey, but the Yee Network makes it way less painful, as I was saying before. Mr. Yee and his partners, both financial partners and other partners, really made it much less painful than it could be. But the 2 things that you really must do is be willing to take a risk and willing to persevere, because it's really a kind of a long process. But the benefits are so fantastic that it was definitely worth it. So here's other things that you need to do. First of all, you have to pre-qualify for a VEND loan. A VEND loan is a loan provided by the VA for VA properties that have been foreclosed. One of the great things about these VA properties is oftentimes they are located near military bases and military installations, and so you can have folks living nearby who get stipends, who get reimbursed by the government in addition to their salary for housing expenses. And these folks are ideal because not only do they have a job that they're getting paid to do, and of course they're taking care of our country and really providing key value there, but they also have a housing stipend. So that's kind of a very key benefit for these locations. The next thing you do is you make a bed with a VA foreclosure offer sheet. A lot of these properties are below market value, and a lot of them are in great locations. Mr. Yee is so fantastic, has a lot of experience here, and this is where he can find these properties that will cash flow, and he does a pro forma for you and runs the numbers so that you can actually get an idea of what your cash flow will look like. I'll tell you this, there's a lot of competition for good ones, a whole lot of competition. In fact, it took me more than 10 bids to get my first deal. And so you have to be patient and you have to be persevere. Once your bid is accepted, you go through a purchase process, and the local agent will work with you in whatever market and help you close it. And again, I just like to emphasize that Mr. Yee was with me at every step and really helped me get these properties closed and helped me go through each step. So when you go through the Vendy loan approval, you're going to have some very strict income requirements and lots of extra hoops. Due to just a technicality, I actually did not qualify for the Vendy loan program because of their strict requirements. But I still found a way to get it done, and Mr. Yee was very helpful here. He pointed me in the direction of Mr. Avenatti at Wells Fargo, and I worked with him and his staff to get a loan in place so that I could actually make the purchase. The other thing you have to do is find property insurance and find your own inspectors. Again, Mr. Yee was very helpful with that. Also, Mr. Avenatti referred me to some folks, and also the local agents that I work with referred me to some folks. So I had to kind of go through that process. So once the closing finishes, this is where it's really key. Mr. Yee has property management in these specific markets where he finds these homes that are cash flowing. Again, these are under market value, generally 10 to 15%. And this is where the turnkey really, almost turnkey comes into play. His property management folks will fix it up for you and get it rent ready, find a tenant, get a lease, and go through all that. So essentially, you know, except for you know, having to obviously pay for the to fix it up, fix up the homes, and you're going to have to spend generally 10 to 20,000 to do that. Other than that, it really was very smooth. So here's the first home I purchased. This one happened to be in El Paso. I'll kind of go through the numbers with you. The offer price that the VA had was $104,000. I ended up going a little bit higher than that. This was over the Christmas holidays, so I think I benefited from less competition because not a lot of folks are buying or making bids for VA foreclosure properties at this point. This ended up being an all-cash purchase. I put $13,000 into it. The big ticket items were roof, flooring, and paint on the interior and exterior. The flooring on the inside of the house really, it looked good in the pictures, but actually it was only about half done with other pictures that I saw. And the roof was damaged, and so that had to be fixed as well. This was the first home that I bought actually sight unseen. I didn't step into the property or look at it. And so that was kind of a fear I had to get over, and ended up working out really well. I got top dollar rent for it at about $1,200 a month. My net operating income is $650 per month after subtracting out all my operating expenses. And my cash flow, which is going to be the same, is $650 a month. And so the property is worth approximately maybe $128,000 to $130,000. So, you know, I got this property. It's a long-term hold. I probably put in about $120,000, and I've got great cash flow per month, and it's worth about $130,000. So it's, you know, I've got about 10K worth of equity into it. I've got a couple of pictures to show you. So this picture is probably one of the best pictures of the house. When I saw this picture, I thought, I'm not going to have to fix it up at all. This looks wonderful. Well, some of the other pictures actually showed the flooring And when I actually had it inspected, that's where I realized, you know, I had to really do the painting in the roof and so on. This is a picture of one of the bedrooms. I think this is after it was fixed up. Okay, so here's the other property that I bought. This one is in Converse, Texas, near San Antonio. My offer price from the VA was $144,000, and the accepted offer price was $147,600. So that's kind of a strategy with these properties, is you want to overbid just a little bit because of the competition. I financed this one at 20% down, and I put $15,000 into it about. I had to fix the AC and the kitchen. There's also a hole in the ceiling, which I have a picture that will show you. After that, I was very surprised. This one rented very, very quickly. In fact, after Kevin, Kevin Clark, who's one of Yee's real estate network partners, he's really big in this area. He was very easy to work with. After getting it fixed up, I had somebody renting the property immediately. In fact, I was very a little bit upset because, you know, after it was fixed up, I didn't even see it listed for rent. And after talking with him, he's like, "Oh yeah, no, we already have somebody to rent it out for you." So made it very smooth, very easy. So with this one, I'm getting about $630 a month net operating income. And my cash flow before tax is $340 a month because of the debt service. And the house is worth about $180,000. So I've got some nice equity built into it. It's fixed up. And again, this has been a great property for me. It is generating cash flow every month. So here's the kitchen. You can see the hole in the roof. The AC wasn't working as well, so that you can kind of see here that there was some damage. But again, very easy. I didn't have to lift a finger. Kevin Clark and his team went in here and fixed it up for me. All I had to do was pay the bill, and he found somebody right away and got it rented out. So again, I had to find the property insurance for this property. I had to get that, and I also had to get the inspection done as well. Picture of the garage. This had to be fixed up a little bit. And so those are my two VA property purchases.
James, before you go on to talk about working with Govt, may I recap the VA foreclosure and update everyone on what's going on?
Yes, please spend a couple minutes and do that.
Yeah, great. Very good, James. Thank you so much. By the way, some of you have entered my network just recently, and you may not be familiar with the VA foreclosure space, but if you can, after the presentation, if you could identify yourself, I'll be more than happy to email you some past videos and newsletters that we did with the VA foreclosures. So let me do a quick recap. The VA foreclosures right now, by the way, there are no government Veterans Administration foreclosures because of the moratorium going on out there because of the pandemic. So the government are not foreclosing on any of the foreclosures. The current information is such that the moratorium to initiate foreclosure has been extended until December 31st toward the end of this year. And who knows, when the time comes, maybe they may or may not extend the moratorium to foreclose beyond this year. We don't know that, but I will keep everybody posted. But if the moratorium expires December 31st, 2020, then I expect that the VA foreclosure will go through with the process, and I suspect the first quarter of 2021 we're going to see a big wave of VA foreclosures. What I mean by big wave, is, I don't know, maybe on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, that is, you may see maybe 100 very good high quality VA foreclosures can come down the pipe, which I will have access to. They are spread up among the 50 states, but my focus is on only several states like North Carolina, Florida, Texas, in Virginia. Those are my top 4 states where you can get some good deals, cash flow properties, where everything makes sense. Furthermore, the value associated with VA foreclosures are you can obtain it with 5% down payment, minimum 5% down payment with investors. As an investor, as a real estate investor, you do not need to be a military veteran. All you need to do is have at least 2 years of rental property experience. That's all you need, okay? And then of course you can qualify for the down payment and all that things. And also the current VA loan interest rate, you gotta listen to this, 3%. So with 3% interest rate on a 30-year amortized Vendy financing rate and 5% down only, so these 2 benefit is just absolutely mind-boggling, right? So very few people in the country know about VA foreclosures as much as I, namely because I'm an ex-military veteran myself. I'm a U.S. Army. I'm retired with 20 years of military active duty experience, and I'm receiving a military pension and all the other benefits associated with it. So anybody else in the country that knows about VA foreclosures, I know this program inside out. Is a very, very specialized niche. I could almost guarantee you no one in the country knows about this to the extent that I do. So, but at the same time, most of my database investors are newbies. I hate to say this, most of you guys out there do not qualify to work with me on this program. So I only work with my top 1% of my investors, the top 10 or 15 individuals, including James. So because of not only because of the 2 years rental property experience one would need, but this system is not easy. It takes a lot of work. I don't like to spend too much time on this matter because I don't get paid that much money with my commissions doing this. So this is sort of a side job for me, other than running my main job is running my real estate network, right? But yeah, I only work with really VIP investors that have a good relationship with, such as James, people that have purchased 3 or 4 or more properties for my network. Those are my target VIP investors I'm willing to work with most of the time. There are some exceptions to the case. You have to show extreme amount of motivation. We have to do a consultation first before I'm willing to accept you to become a client, so I can help you with your VA foreclosure process. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So all right, so James, with that in mind, go ahead and talk about your other things that you have done, which is very interesting with the Glen Pantone.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, thanks for sharing those details. That's very important. The VA foreclosure program, as he talked about, is an excellent opportunity. But again, it has to, kind of fit for your background. So I'd like to now kind of talk about flips that I've done with VIP Realty. So Glenn Plantone, another member of the Yee Real Estate Network, is the owner of VIP Realty, and he has done over 800 flips, both commercial and residential. He's also done a number of other deals. He's extremely creative, extremely bright. I call him a savant in the area of real estate. He really understands his game. He knows where to find the value. And the most important thing, though, is he's extremely easy to work with, and very communicative, and really makes it a pleasure, makes it easy to invest. Before doing investments with Glenn, he'll have a consultation meeting with you. He generally has a number of different projects, real estate investment deals, either kind of in the planning stages or um, uh, uh, or maybe already started where he needs some additional funding to fix them up. So he'll fill you in on everything that he's currently doing and what his needs are. And then if that kind of makes sense, then it's kind of up to you to take the initiative and step forward. I've been working with him probably for about 3 to 3.5 years now, and I can't say enough good things about partnering with him. He's very responsive. His staff is very easy to work with, and he just has a whole world's worth of experience. So with Glenn, in general, your minimum investment is going to be around 50,000. He will kind of let you know what he's working on and what his needs are. Essentially, with Glenn, you're not going to have any equity participation in the beginning, but as you build a relationship with him, he will let you participate in equity if you'd like to. So essentially what he does is he'll pay a very great interest rate on the money that you give him. So in a way, you're kind of acting as a hard money lender. Your investment capital is going to be secured with a recorded note and deed of trust. So if anything were to happen to him, or anything were to happen in a way where he were to go bankrupt or anything like that, worst case, you would actually own the property. My first deal with Glenn was a single family home flip in Las Vegas. I wanted to kind of start small and see what it was like to go through that. He worked with me very closely along the way and helped me make me feel comfortable with each step. Then after I did that deal, my second deal was for a commercial flip. He actually found a bankrupt grocery store in Arizona. He purchased it under market value. And through his ingenuity, he knew there was a demand for a tire and auto parts store in that area, and he converted it to that and sold it. And he made some good profits on it, and it's kind of the beneficiary of that as well, being his investment partner. So here's a single family home flip. I wanted to show a before and after picture of the kitchen. Up in the upper left, you'll see the kitchen beforehand. It doesn't look all that bad in the picture, but actually the cabinets really needed to be redone. New sink, and needed to be opened up, some new flooring. And so you can see the after picture. Looks really, really nice. And when he sold this property, he ended up getting top dollar for it. It wasn't the smoothest process. Generally, you want flips to take 3 to 4 months, but sometimes there are some legal issues you have to work through, such as title not being clean or something like that. Anyway, he's very experienced, so he worked through all that, and he got it done. My second flip was a commercial grocery store, as I talked about earlier. Up front, he said, well, it probably takes 6 to 12 months to convert the store to an auto tire and parts store. Again, this is secured with a deed of trust and note. For this case, my capital was used for tenant improvement renovations, basically to convert the store, which was a grocery store, to be set up as an auto tire and parts store. There were a number of issues with the general contractor, and some sales fell through. So instead of 6 to 12 months, it actually took 18 months for this property to be completely renovated and sold. But he's so good. He worked through all that. He was very communicative with me. So I always felt like I was being talked to, and ended up working out really well for me and for him. So this was a very good experience with me. He'll also send you information about the property address, marketing material, and renovation plans if you wish. And he's really with you the whole way. So, in summary, and again, I said over 3 years, I've done a total of 5 deals. I'm in the process of doing one single family home flip. Again, this one has some title issues, but I've also done one. I've done I've completed one light commercial flip, and I've done another one now, which is a dollar store that he's currently working with. He has a relationship with the owners of one of the dollar store chains, and I was able to leverage that to uh, acquire some land and to build one from scratch. And one of the new things that he's doing is a manufactured home land deal. It turns out that housing demand in the Las Vegas area, the dollar stores in California, but for the manufactured home land deal that I'm doing with him, that's been a really great find. There's a lot of demand for housing there, and it turns out he knows where to find land that's inexpensive. He'll do some improvements to the land, make sure you have water and gas and other utilities, and then he buys a home, a new manufactured home, and then he sells it as a package. So he's just starting to venture into that space, and it's been about 4 months since I started this deal with him, and he's nearly done. He'll learn a lot from this one, and I'm pretty sure that in the future he'll have more of these types of deals available.
Oh, by the way, James, okay, sorry, let me interject a little bit. Oh,
Sure.
Glenn Pantone, although my network, the Year Wilson Network, we are mainly focused on, turnkey rental properties. But so this is our core investment model that we have. This is my business philosophy. But again, sometimes we deviate from our core philosophy because over the years, I'm able to have a lot of relationship with professionals in other part of the country. And Glenn Plantone, he's based out of Las Vegas, but like James said, he is such a smart person. He know everything about real estate, commercial flips, residential flips. Not only that, he's very ethical. He's very successful. He's very transparent, and all his deals, he made money. All the 800 deals that he have done flipping with many investors for the past 10, 15 years, all has made money. I know I'm not guaranteeing anything. I will never use the word guarantee, but these men know how to find a deal. So right now we're going through a pandemic, if you will. We all know that. But on the other side of the pandemic, when we entered next year, 2021 and beyond, I'm going to engage with Glenn Plantone again, and he will come back to our network to present to you additional flips of various kinds, similar to what James has experienced through some. So, yep. So we look forward to working with Mr. Glenn Plantone very soon. So just show discipline, continue to be a part of our network through your free membership. All right. So, okay, James, go ahead and finish up your presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks so much, Mr. Yee, for those insights. So I'd just like to talk through some final thoughts here. I'm not going to go through every bullet on this slide. The point of this slide is that, with real estate, you get to take advantage of leverage. So, in the example here, if you've got a $100,000 property and you only put $5,000 down, i.e. for a VA foreclosure, and you put $15,000 to fix it up, you're in it for $20K. Since it's, the idea is a long-term buy and hold, you'll be getting positive cash flow each month. But in addition to that, as the property appreciates, let's say it goes up 5% in 5 years, you're going to make $5,000 on that $100,000 property that you've purchased. And so you've only really put in 20,000 down. So you're actually making about 25% profit on that. So The idea here with real estate is not only do you get the cash flow, but if you buy properties under market value in great locations, you're on your way to wealth.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Mhm.
Oh, you can add to that if you wish, Mr. Yee.
Yeah. So James, I know James have discussed quite a bit of advanced real estate investment topics, but just like most newbies out there, he was a newbie, a beginner way back then, right? So everybody has gone through different type of experience and process and action plan. So James, can you share with the audience in terms of what kind of inspiration or motivation you like to share with the audience, just to because a lot of people out there are still very fearful, right? I mean, buying properties out of state is not a normal occurrence. So, some motivation thoughts you have?
Yeah, so I mean, you really have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to have confidence, and you have to kind of trust yourself and trust the process. For me, my passion is all about being financially independent. At some point in the future, I really wish to no longer have a W-2 job. And I'd really like to have this passive income coming in so I can do the things that I'd like to do, spend more time with the family, take some vacations when I want to, when I need to, not have a boss there and having to deal with office politics and all those sorts of things. So that's really where my motivation comes from, is to get to a point where I'm financially independent. I know my family can be taken care of, and I know that my children as they get older, they'll also uh, get some wisdom and be taken care of also. So again, a lot of you out there are new, and so I'd like to kind of walk through some of the things that I did to help me learn and become successful. One of the things that I did, I'm an avid reader, and so I really enjoyed this book, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. I think I read this shortly after I was at Mr. Yee's real estate investing class. I found this book is highly, highly recommended. It'll go through all the basics, practical examples, and really give you an idea about how to profit with real estate. The other thing that's really important is to build your network. And with with the e-real estate network, a lot of that is already there for you to take advantage of. Um, he's got financial folks to work with. All of these folks are all very ethical, very at the top of their game. Some of the best in the business that I've seen. They're really willing to work with you and make you successful. So having his network really helps you build your network faster. And that's really where you can find a lot of opportunities. Real estate has a lot of niche plays. So the more that you kind of see that's out there, the more that you can find something that fits and kind of works for your objectives. I happen to like flips for one reason, so I started to do those just to kind of learn how those work. But at my heart, I really am a long-term buy and hold investor, and I really think that's where uh, having Yee's network in place, it really helps facilitate that. The other thing that I do is I've kind of generated a process for myself. So I'm very independent. I went out on the internet and I found this website called financialwolves.com. Out there was a free spreadsheet that you can use to analyze properties. You can put in your purchase price, some best case and worst case scenarios, your revenue per month, and then it'll calculate your cash flows for you, figure out your profit margins, and so on for long-term buy and hold. So I use that very, very much. I use that all the time. In fact, when I'm looking to invest, there's some kind of napkin things that I learned. Like one of the things that was the most important thing I learned is the 1% rule. So essentially, 1% of your of the property value should be what it rents per month. So for example, if you buy a $100,000 property, it should rent for $1,000 a month. And so that kind of gives you a good starting point as to whether or not that's a property worth pursuing or not. I also have another spreadsheet that I made that tracks each home and investor property that I own, so I can kind of keep track of what's going on. And having a mentor is extremely critical. Mr. Yee has been fantastic for me. I've also networked with some other people, and I've just learned a whole ton from them. So find a mentor, stick with the mentor, find another mentor, stick with that mentor, and continue to learn and continue to get past your fear of investing.
Exactly. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so another great book is this Real Estate Finance for Investment Properties. This walks through all the numbers. So some people really like numbers. I think numbers are important. And this lets you really dive down to the nitty gritties and get to some really advanced topics as far as what the numbers are, what they mean, and what's kind of good and what's kind of bad. So that's really, really critical. And oops, sorry about that. And then the other thing is, don't be afraid of investing in properties outside your home state. I was kind of afraid of that at first, but I went ahead and went for it. Again, Mr. Yee's real estate network makes it really easy. And so, you know, don't be afraid, go for it. There's some excellent people you'll be working with, and they will help you as you go along. My personal goal is I'd like to have about $15,000 per month passive income by the time I'm 60. I'm on my way there, and I hope to continue down this path. I have a process in place. I have a network in place. And so I really think leveraging, especially Mr. Yee's real estate network, it will help you reach your goals, whatever they are. And
Yeah.
so that's all I got. Thank you very much for having me present this evening. And I guess we could open it up for questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, James. Very good presentation, very inspiring, and you know, is a very you're going through a journey. Really, you are continuing with your journey. I mean, you are not done yet. You are still looking into some of our other cash flow properties. I'm hoping so.
Yes.
So that's good to hear. So okay, I mean, we have, you know, a few minutes for any kind of questions. I don't see any, by the way. So I'll wait maybe for 30 more seconds if I don't see any questions. Other than that, yeah, this presentation is being recorded, so we're gonna, like I said, I'm gonna shoot the email blast to my database of several thousand people sometime next week, and so you guys can learn what James has presented, and make it your own, go through your own journey, overcome fear, and James did. So that's the critical component of it. Just be courageous, overcome fear, and take a chance, and things will work out toward the end. So all right, so I think that's it, James. Let's conclude this, and thank you so much once again for taking time out of your day to. I know you put in a lot of time and effort to put this presentation together. I really appreciate you as a great investor for our network, and really appreciate you doing this for try to inspire others to do what you're doing. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone else for attending, and good luck to all of you. And you can always reach out to me. I'm very, very easy to get a hold of, and I would love to consult with people. I love mentoring, guiding with people, and that's my passion, and I love help people to achieve their financial goals. So thank you for attending. Thanks so much, and good luck. Have a good day. Have a nice day. Good evening. Bye-bye.